Hey, brother, check Tuesday, check Tuesday. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Special teams,
Welcome
special
back to
players,
another.
special plays.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. I'm Zach. That's Hunter. We got a shorter one today, but we're gonna hop right into it with a little bit of transfer portal news. Yay! Back into transfer portal news. It's that time of the year again, folks. More football. Hallelujah. First up, we got Oregon State running back Damian Martinez has entered the transfer portal. Any special news on him, Hunter?
I
Any
think he's been linked
whereabouts
to.
he might be going?
I think he's been linked to Miami.
Oh.
So there is that. This kid rushed for almost 1,200 yards. Like he was 15 yards short, I think, of 1,200 for on the ground. Almost had 200 receiving. First team All Pac-12. So he's good running back. Honestly, he's probably just looking for a better team that has a slightly better chance of making it to the national title. So
yes, especially with Oregon State not really having a conference this year, it's going to be tough for them to go anywhere. Next up is everybody's favorite defensive tackle, crybaby Bear Alexander.
Oh, wow.
Who has entered the transfer portal and then denied that he's entered the transfer portal and has came out and said he's staying at USC. At this point, who cares? Yeah, I mean
that's all it was.
Yeah.
Payment came in a little bit late this semester, I guess.
He scared him right into making sure it went through.
Yeah. Which, it is what it is. Look, he's one of the I do not like saying this about anyone, any kid who's trying to get like their money to get to.
Yeah.
Like, if in case they don't or are not able to make it, but someone like him, everything I've heard about this kid, none of it's good, man. None of it.
Right.
Allegedly punching the starting center of the team, who's an upperclassman, in the face, and I think it was a cheap shot too, in the middle of the weight room.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I mean, the thing we got to remember here is they are kids, right? It's the key word. He's a kid. Does that excuse,
No.
fighting with teammates or any other poor decisions that may or may not have been made? No. But he is a kid. So, I mean, it's hard to dog on him, right? Because he's a kid. And kids are notorious for not making great decisions.
Yeah.
But it doesn't excuse bad behavior just because you're a kid. So
my thing is he's had basically what amounts to a handler for the entirety of his high school career up till now, who has this kid transferred 4 times in high school. He was at 4 different schools in 4 different years. I would not have been shocked to see him at a 3rd college in 3 years. If you look it up, you can tell there's a pattern there. Yeah, you've been able to tell there's a pattern there. So it's frustrating. Someone as talented as that, and I'll be honest, the guy who his handler is, I guess, is the best term I can use, because you don't have agents necessarily officially yet in college football. Right? And you wouldn't have called him an agent back when he was in high school either. Best word I can use for is handler, and the handler's probably fed his ego to
I'm sure
a certain extent. You're the best player on the market. It's like, dude, you regressed this year.
Yeah.
So, like, you wouldn't have gotten as much as you thought.
Right. Next up, Tennessee linebacker Elijah Herring has entered the transfer portal. He did lead Tennessee in tackles last year. Any relation to Malik Herring?
I don't know. Like it wouldn't be the first time you've seen. It wouldn't be the first time you've seen like two brothers go to two different colleges. But
Right.
at the same time, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. Either way, I mean, any news on where he might be heading?
I know if I remember correctly, he's got a visit lined up with Colorado. So possibly look there. You know, always look at another transfer heavy team like Miami.
Right.
Still trying to turn things around a little bit, you know. So I think one of those two probably. I think Miami's in the lead for Damian Martinez as well. Did I say that already? I think I said that already.
You did.
Gosh.
Yeah, you did. It's late, folks.
It's all good.
Next up, Penn State wide receiver Keandre Lambert-Smith has also entered the portal. He is the top receiver in the portal right now. Any idea where he's going? Where he could be going?
Not really. Not really at this moment. He's got some visits lined up, you know, so we'll see. It's just a really interesting name. I know a lot of schools have been in contact, even Georgia, you know. They've been, which we'll get to them in a moment.
Right.
They've been in contact, strangely enough, which a lot of Georgia fans are even saying, why are they in contact with them? Our wide receiver room looks good. Never hurts to get another depth piece.
Can't hurt to add another good wide receiver.
And to say depth piece is to underrate the kid, too, so I retract that. You can't ever have too deep of a wide receiver room, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah, it can't ever hurt to get another good wide receiver. Never. Not in college football, especially when wide receivers are going down left and right, sometimes through the season. I mean, you saw it with Georgia last year. Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers go down, and who's going to step up? So, next up, and probably the most interesting of the big transfer portal news, Arizona State quarterback Jaden Rashada has entered the transfer portal. Apparently, has been linked to the University of Georgia already. It happened pretty quickly that he was linked to Georgia. So, honestly, I would love to have him. Don't get me wrong. I don't see why he would come to Georgia because he's going to sit for at least a year. Obviously, if he has confidence in himself and thinks that he could come in and beat a Gunnar Stockton or a Ryan Puglisi possibly next year for the job, if he's got that confidence, if he can sit behind Carson Beck and learn for a year, I could see the possibility of him coming to Georgia. But is he going to want to come and sit for a year and then maybe possibly lose the job to Gunnar Stockton or Ryan Puglisi next year and have to transfer again?
So
that would be my sticking point, but who knows?
So the deal with Rashada is he's got 4 years of eligibility left. He technically redshirted this year. And he got in-game experience for 3 games. So my thought process is Georgia has made it very clear that they want at least 4 scholarship quarterbacks in a room at a time.
Right.
With the whole Arch Manning fiasco a few years ago, this is their last chance to go ahead and get that fixed up now.
Right.
So, and with Rashada, if I had to put a placement on it, I'd say obviously everyone knows Beck's going to be the starter. I would say Stockton's going to be the backup, the number 2. He's looked great. I would say, though, that since he's got in-game experience, if absolutely needed, he would be the 3rd quarterback in over Puglisi. And that's just because he's got actual in-game experience.
Right.
So, dude's like 190 right now.
Right.
And Georgia's famous for putting weight on players. So
Right.
over under on them.
I mean, like I said,
over under on 3 months of it being 3 months for him to break 200.
Under, probably.
Probably, I would say. Kid's electric though. So.
Oh,
And right now,
all right.
I'm sorry. I keep adding things at the very last second. Right now it's still
No, you're
he's
good.
linked to Georgia. From what I've seen, they're really serious about getting a fourth scholarship quarterback in this class. So they're going to do everything they can to get him in. So it's literally it's realistically whether or not he turns down their best shot in this.
Right. Up next, finally, we have an official release date for NCAA 25. July 19th has officially been named the release date for the game, with the first trailer dropping May the 16th. It's time to get excited, folks. It's coming. Hallelujah.
Yes.
We're finally going to have a college football game for the first time in 11 years. Hallelujah.
That Kennesaw State dynasty. Wing T. It's gonna be amazing. I'm going to be in love.
Right. I'm gonna have fun with it.
Some people talking about dynasties with Georgia and Ohio State and all that. I'm like, nah. Give me the small schools,
right,
with the weird offenses.
Right.
Give me those teams that no one's ever prepared for.
Right.
No one's prepared for the slot T anymore. Defenses.
No, I agree. I love picking old teams, like the lower level teams, and working them up to be a dynasty, like your Akron. Taking Akron or Navy or Army, and taking them to be a dynasty. That's what's fun about those games. All right, next up, Ole Miss had a spring field day.
Did you not see what their? Oh,
I did not.
Okay, so long story short, instead of a regular spring training game, and I didn't find out about this until I got I'd say to Hooters Saturday, because I was at Georgia's spring game, checking everything out. But Ole Miss, on their football field, they only had like 50 yards of it marked off as an actual field, and all they were doing was 7-on-7. Yeah. And on the other side of the field, they had two different things going on, where they were having a dunk contest. Yep. Yeah. They brought out actual hardwood. And then I cannot believe I'm fixing to say this. You had Joey Chestnut there competing against defensive and offensive linemen in a hot dog eating contest. Dude, what the hell, man? Like, I just... it's spring training, and you're an SEC team. Like, look, if this was like Texas, which they're SEC now too. Let me rephrase that. If this was USC or Miami, I could understand this happening.
Maybe Colorado.
Bougie people doing bougie things.
Right.
Lane, you are an SEC caliber team. You are a favorite right now to be in the in the 12-team playoff. And you do this, and people will say, well, he doesn't want to injure the players. Like they can't go and like twist their ankle coming down from a dunk. Look at what happened to Tom Segura. Right. He went to dunk.
Tom Segura is not the most athletic man.
It's still freak accidents though. Can happen. That man went up to dunk, came down, broke his leg, and the way he fell caused him to break his arm. He broke 2 limbs trying to dunk. And he didn't even get that high.
Yeah, I agree.
So I just it's stupid. It's so stupid. Then you had Ohio State. They were playing what amounts to glorified 2-hand touch. Right? They were in full pads and everything. And all they were doing were, okay, play's over. After you touch them. It's like, what are we doing? Yeah. I can't with it, man. I can only do so much. Right? Because Ohio State has like how many kids do you think they got on their roster, right?
A bunch.
Exactly. I'd say over triple digits. So the whole thing is you can go full speed, full contact. I get, putting the quarterbacks in a different jersey, and like that being 2-hand touch. I get that. That's tradition. But to just be like, oh, hey, we're not actually gonna tackle the running back. What are we doing, man? I just.
I don't know.
I can't.
Crazy. All right. Well, now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the blind draft.
We got y'all this time. We switched up the blind draft and the yeet or no yeet, finishing us off today. So, with that being said, do you remember what last weekend was besides spring training?
No.
I swear, sometimes I'm going to have to revoke your Georgian card. The Masters.
Oh, it was the Masters. My ranking golfers. I watched the Masters too. I just forgot it was last week.
No.
My ranking golfers. Oh. I got excited.
You got so excited. No. You are ranking sporting events that you would love to go to. And when I say go to, I don't mean just like a day. Like if they came up to you and like, hey, we got free tickets for the entirety of this sports series, what would you want to like?
Okay.
How would you rank them in order?
Okay.
So, number 1, the NBA Finals.
5.
No hesitation there. I agree with you on that one 100%. I'm not a big...
Not a huge basketball fan. I keep up with the Hawks, but I don't remember the last time I watched a game.
Next, the one that inspired this, the Masters.
1.
No hesitation.
1,000%. No hesitation. I would love to go to the Masters. I would give up my left arm.
Too, if we're being honest. I would also give up your left arm for tickets to the Masters.
I'm sure you would. That is the most beautiful place on earth.
My dad almost had a chance to play it. Oh, yeah.
I would give up more than my left arm to play around at Augusta. Oh. It would be awful because it's extremely hard, but I would go just for the sake of going. Just to say I played at Augusta, it would be awesome.
Okay, number 3.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you look like a fool, especially with what our podcast is about. The College Football Playoff National Championship.
Three.
Okay. Smart, I will say. Because I do think there is one thing on here you would want to go over that.
I figured. I had this conversation in my head. I'm hoping it's on here because I'm going to feel dumb if it's
The
not.
Super Bowl is next.
4.
And next, and the final one, which automatically puts it at 2, the World Series.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, if you told me, hey, you were guaranteed 7 amazing games at the World Series, and I'm going to give you free tickets to all of them, yes. No, baseball has some of the best playoffs in the sports world.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, and another thing, like, we're a college football podcast, and I would love to go to a college football championship game, right? The national championship. But that's one game. Or I can watch 7 great games of the Braves beating the Astros in the World Series.
But
like 6 games.
91
but still,
World Series,
like,
still best World Series.
I would have killed to go to the first World Series in my lifetime from the Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
I would have killed to have been at one of those games. If I could have been at all 6. Oh.
You ain't kidding. You are not kidding.
It would have been electric. And the Masters is just the Masters. I mean, it's iconic.
For me, it would be like, I'd want to go to the Masters once, right? Just to say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to go like every year, but just to say I've been to the Masters would be awesome. I wish I could have went when Tiger Woods was in his prime, because that was electric. Tiger Woods was electric in his prime.
The only golf tournament I'd want to go, like, to multiple years in a row, would be the Phoenix Waste Management, and that's just to see the show that is.
Yeah. It's a crazy course. No. I wouldn't mind going to St. Andrews.
Not the players, the fans.
Oh, the fans are stupid.
That's
at that.
I wouldn't be watching. Tournament. I wouldn't be watching the golf. I'd be watching the fans.
I mean, it's like 100-degree heat, and they're wasted.
I saw a video of one dude. He's just sitting in a chair, taking a leak in his pants. That's how wasted he was. I'm just like,
that's wasted.
They stopped selling alcohol.
You gotta be wasted
before noon one day.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be wasted to piss your pants.
Yeah, I mean, just
like, I'm too drunk to get up and go to the bathroom. If I get up, I'm gonna throw up, so I'm just gonna piss my pants. It's electric. That man is our hero. Elect him as the president. That's the kind of person we need running the country. I mean, just comes to work talking to Vladimir Putin, just fucking wasted.
I mean,
that's
we won't.
Is it any worse than what we have now? Pretty much that's what we have now, I guess. Not to get political. Sorry, Secret Service agents listening to this podcast. I promise. I love Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden.
Last segment is going to be the yeet or no yeet. So, give me your best shot.
Yeah, this is a yeet or no yeet NFL Draft Edition.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right. Number 1, Dallas Turner will be the first defensive player off the board in the NFL draft. could be tricky. There's about 3 players I think could go first.
Yeah.
And I have my opinion.
So it depends on who is taking that first defensive player. If the first defensive player does not happen until Atlanta, then yeah, it's going to be an edge rusher, and more than likely, if he's still on the board, it's going to be Dallas Turner. However, there's the off chance that a team might decide, well, hey, we need a cornerback, so let's get who's the kid from Kent State?
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name now.
Out of his mind. Along with solid play. Anyways, him or Terrion Arnold or someone could end up being the first defensive player off the board, depending on what team. So, but I think that really depends on if Atlanta trades back or not. If they stay at number 8, yeah, yeet. Dallas Turner's first person off the board, defense player off the board.
Right. Number 2. No defensive player will go in the top 6.
Top 6. Yeet. Yeah.
I agree. It'll be 7 or 8 before one goes. Maybe 9.
Maybe 10. Depends.
Okay. This one's going to hit some Bears fans right in the heart. But the Bears will blow it with the first overall pick in the draft, whether it be trading it and or taking a potential bust. Everybody knows Everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears will blow the first overall pick.
You see, it's easy for us to say that because we're not the guys having to make the pick, and we're not the guys who have invested every ounce of our being over the last 2.5 years scouting Caleb Williams. So, I'll say no yeet solely for the hope that I have for the Bears fans out there. I've always wanted to do that.
The Bears. The Bears. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Caleb Williams is a hell of an athlete, right? He's an elite athlete. Is he an elite quarterback? That has remained to be seen.
I worry about.
He has the potential to be.
I worry about distractions off the field. But then again, it's been pretty quiet lately, so.
Yeah. Right. Who knows? All right. Well, this has been another very eventful and wonderful episode of the Any Given Day podcast. Like, subscribe, comment. Hit that notification bell so you can stay updated for all of our latest content. Hunter, you got anything else you want to say before we close it out?
Yeah, should we just go ahead and tell everybody about what we're planning between, like, hopefully have it posted before Thursday night.
Yeah.
So we are going to do a little full-blown first-round mock draft. Both of us. It'll be like a little special episode. There will be trades. There will be full control on all the teams and how we think they'll go and in which direction they'll go. So that is something that is going to happen. Basically, we're going to do it off camera, off stream, and off recording, and then we're going to come back and we're going to here's like we're going to go through his and then mine or vice versa. We're going to go through our full drafts. Should be fun. Should be interesting, and you might see an argument or two. Who knows?
Definitely
We
see an
are
argument or
arguing
two.
over it so badly.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will see you all Thursday for our very special
Check.
NFL draft episode. Check. Everybody have a good night.